Hello, welcome to Dungeon Bros Podcast. I'm your host, Justin. Today we're reviewing Hellstrom Evil Origins by Marvel Comics. This collects comic books that feature the character Damon Hellstrom, aka Son of Satan, from the 70s. Well, from 1971 through 1976. This collects Ghost Rider issues 1 through 2 from 1973, Marvel Spotlight 1971, issues 12 through 13, and issue 24, Son of Satan issue 8, and Defenders from 1972, issue 92, and 120 through 121, written by Gary Friedrich, Chris Claremont, Bill Mantlo, J.M. Dematteis, who did the Defenders comics, and with art by Don Perlin. Oh, sorry, no, he wrote it, and illustrated by Tom Sutton, Jim Mooney, Herb Trimpe, Sal Buscema, and Russ, Heath, and Don Perlin. This trade goes for $25 or 31 Canadian, teen plus. Sorry about my dog. I'm supposed to walk her soon. Yeah, I just finished this, and this collects like 9 issues. Show you some of the interior art here. There's Ghost Rider, right? There's the Defenders. And I was right that Doctor Strange would be in the book, but he's not in the book very long. So if people don't know who Damon Hellstrom is, he's basically this character who is an exorcist slash demonologist who was supposed to be training to become a priest, but found out that he's actually the son of the devil, Satan, and that his father wants him to basically be like a soldier in his war against like heaven and like conquer the world. He wants him to rule by his side in hell, and Damon Hellstrom decides to go against his father for what he did to his mother and sister, his sister is a character called Satana. There she is on the cover there, and she looks kind of like like a female version of Devilman. And there's a sexy picture of her on here, right? Which is like, this is a trade called Marvel Horror Lives Again, which has Blade on it, and 2 characters I don't know who they are, but yeah. So yeah, so I gotta say, I really enjoyed the book, though I thought the character Damon Hellstrom was a bit two-dimensional at times, right? And then there's the thing where he's like, his powers are, he can basically, he has like super strength. He can shoot fire blasts out of his trident, which is a mythical weapon from hell, which is the only thing that the devil is weak against, and he somehow gets a hold of it. It's like, why would the devil... That's one of the problems with the book, is like the devil makes a weapon that is pretty much only useful against him, and his son gets a hold of it, right? Yeah. So there's like some cool stories with Ghost Rider in here, and the Defenders comics were good, but the Hellstrom comics were a bit repetitive, where it's just Hellstrom fighting demons. Though there was this cool issue that takes place during Christmas time, and that I thought was pretty cool, right? It's basically Damon Hellstrom gets tricked into thinking that he's getting recruited by demons, like to lead a revolution in hell against his dad, and it turns out it was a plot by his dad, right? Which takes place on Christmas Eve. There, let's see if I can find it. Oh, and there's lots of monsters in this book, obviously, because like a lot of the book takes place in hell. There's Satana, who's supposed to be a succubus, right? This is the Christmas Eve issue, where he goes to hell. And you see some very monstrous, like, demons. Alright. Oh, and they changed like the devil's design like a couple times, this is weird to me. Like I thought Mephisto was basically the guy who ruled hell, and turns out there's an actual Satan that rules hell. Like what the fuck? I thought Mephisto was their way of getting, going around like the devil shit, so they wouldn't get censored by the comics code. Which I'm surprised the comics code let this character exist, though they did censor. There's like an issue where like he gets crucified, but they censored it, right? And where the comics code censored it. So here's the actual page where he gets crucified, but they changed it up in the book, right? Yeah. So basically, I thought there was some good action here, some good stories, but it gets a bit repetitive, and I kind of find it like there is an issue where like he goes to help this chick who's a member of the Church of Satan, right? Who gets possessed by a demon, and it's like, wow, we're helping this guy who's supposed to be a priest, right? Goes to help like a member of the Church of Satan, which it's implied that like her dad was his foster father, so he kind of feels like he owes them. But it's like, dude, like they reap what they sow, man. These Satanists, man. But like he goes to help them, right? But yeah, but it is said that like they weren't really into that shit. They were just being rebellious, And when this like evil person who was Satana, which turned out wasn't even Satana, the girl that he went to go help was possessed, and like set up this fight between Demon Hellstrom and his sister Satana, who is the demon succubus, right? Who's in like Marvel Comics, Vampire Marvel Comics. I forget what the name of the series is, but it has vampire in the title, right? Yeah, but like, I don't know. I thought that was weird, but they covered their tracks. So I don't know. I thought the book was good, but overall, I think it's a bit pricey for what it is, because it's like $31, and it's 9. I know it's 9 issues, but man, I don't know, man. To me, it's just like it's less than 200 pages too, by the way. So it's a bit pricey for like for when it's like less than 200 pages. But overall, I think it's worth reading if you get it for a decent price. I'm getting a 6.5 out of 10. So my next review for comic book Halloween month is going to be the Goon in Nothing But Misery by Eric Powell, which is his volume 1. There was a volume 0, by the way, which we reviewed last year. So make sure to check out that review before you read this, because basically volume 0 collects issues 1 through 3 of the mini-series, and this is the main series. Which the reason why there was a mini-series was because he went to that was supposed to be an ongoing series, but he went to jail, and when he came out of Eric Powell went to jail allegedly, and came out of jail and did the main series, right? Check that out. Also, I can't do my audio reviews, so for my movie reviews, because my microphone broke. So I'm going to do a little movie review here. And the movie I'm reviewing is Under the Silver Lake, which is a 2018 or 2019 film. Google says 2019, Tubi says 2018, and Tubi's where I watched it, whereas there's a free streaming website that you can watch movies and TV shows for free, but you have to watch ads, right? And Under the Silver Lake is a film directed by David Robert Mitchell, if I remember correctly, and he directed It Follows, which is a great film and fun story. I can't say it, but like, yeah. I just find it funny because like the movie is about this chick who loses her virginity, and I actually, the first time I got laid was the same night I watched that movie. And it was funny because it's like I got laid before I watched the movie, and I watched the movie, and I'm like, oh fuck, it's like some demon ghost gonna come after me. So I thought that was funny. But yeah, Under the Silver Lake is this movie about the Andrew Garfield, who does an American accent, who's living in L.A. and is basically this like NEET who doesn't work, and he doesn't go to school, and he's like a couple days from being kicked out of his apartment, right? And he just spends all day hanging out with his hipster friends and, like, you know, spying on the hippie chick who's like 60 years old, by the way. I looked her up, and she's like a producer of the film. Who's this topless hippie chick who like, you know, has a bunch of birds, right? And who he spies on. And one day he meets this like hot chick by the pool who has this dog who he befriends her and is supposed to go on a date with her, but on the day that he was supposed to go on a date with her, she disappears, right? And then there's this story about this missing billionaire who ends up whose body is found burnt and destroyed from, like, you know, a car fire or whatever, where there was 3 chicks with the dude, and one of them he thinks is the girl that he met. So, like, the movie is like this hipster slash noir mystery film where he's going around, like, trying to hanging out with like Hollywood actors and shit, going around trying to find this girl, where he runs into these like indie like star like hookers, this weird band called Jesus and the Brides of Dracula or some shit. Yeah, it was Brides of Dracula. And like also Topher Grace is his friend in the film, and he's like a total hipster in the movie, and he's awesome, right? Also, the main character is into conspiracy stuff, and there's this book called Under the Silver Lake, which is like this ongoing magazine that he reads, where he goes to meet the author, and there's this great scene where you have our characters kind of a conspiracy nut meets an even bigger conspiracy nut, and he's like just weirded out by the crazy shit the dude's talking about. Which is one of the things he was talking about is this serial killer called the Owl Kiss, who is this naked woman who wears an owl mask, who sneaks into men's bedrooms at night and kill them, right? And then like later on in the movie, you see the Owl Kiss try to kill our main character. And it was like a fucking funny scene, right? And there's obviously, if you're into conspiracy stuff, there's some like references. They don't mention them, but like there's references to like Freemason stuff and Moloch stuff if you're into that, right? And there's some really cool. The movie's like over 2 hours, and there's like some really cool revelations in the movie. One that didn't even have anything to do with like the main girl, but he just stumbles upon it, where like he goes to meet this character called the Songwriter, right? And he found out about this character because he just deciphered this code that the secret message he found in like one of the songs, Jesus and the Brides of Dracula, right? And he goes to meet the songwriter, who's this old guy, and there's this great revelation scene where he meets him, and he finds out that all the famous hits ever made in the past, like, you know, 40 years or whatever, was made by this one songwriter to have like hidden message, and it's for 2 reasons. One, to have hidden messages for the elites out there, and second, to brainwash people, right? And then our main character is a huge Kurt Cobain fan. He's like holding like the Kurt Cobain Fender Mustang guitar that this guy owns, and then he's playing all the different hits on his piano while he's explaining that he's this this guy that the elites hire to put these hidden messages, to write these hit songs. He gives to bands, and he writes hidden messages. And one of the songs he plays is like a Nirvana song. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I think it was "Smell Like Teen Spirit," and he's like, "Oh, you noticed one," and you just see like Andrew Garfield's like face, like his heart is just destroyed. He's like super heartbroken, right? And this pisses him off that he takes the Fender Mustang guitar by Kurt Cobain and smashes the old man's head in, which is like, what the fuck? And it's such a great scene. You can watch it on YouTube, right? And it's like, wow, dude. And there's other revelations in the movie as well. And the movie kind of has it's also a comedy, right? But the movie also, like, its ending, man, I'm not gonna spoil the ending, but it's kind of like a sad, depressing ending where I almost want to spoil it because the movie is pretty much like an unrequited love movie where this guy goes to great lengths for this chick that he falls in love with, and like she's like, dude, I barely know you. And it's like, god damn. And man, also there is problems with the movie. There's this scene in the movie, you're either gonna love it or hate it, where our character who drives a Mustang, by the way, after going to a party, heads to his car, and the car gets like scratched up, and like somebody draws like a dick on the car, and he finds like a group of teenagers down the street doing the same thing to a bunch of other cars. One of them's like pissing on a car, and he just sneaks up on the kid and beats the shit out of him. He beats the shit out of a kid in the movie, man, and it's like, holy fuck. It's like, okay, I get it. Like, you know, you want to teach these kids a lesson for messing up your fucking car, but it's like, holy fuck, to go to the lengths of beating the shit out of a kid. Right? Oh, yeah. And there's also this subplot in the film where there's like a dog killer going around killing dogs, and you never find out who the dog killer is, but there's some clues and hints in the movie that it might be the main character, Andrew Garfield. So I was like, what the fuck? But you never find out who the dog killer is that's going around killing dogs. And yeah. So overall, I thought the movie was great, and I'm probably going to rewatch the film, like, you know, every once in a while, because the movie is basically a masterpiece. I really enjoyed the film, but it did have its problems, right? And apparently, Silver Sun Pickups is in the movie, but I never saw them. But they're credited in the cast, so I don't know if that was a mistake by Google. But yeah, I don't know. Overall, I thought the movie was great. And I really enjoyed it, and I think if you're a fan of like a cult Hollywood shit, there's stuff in there. And this is a better occult like Hollywood movie than Nicholas Winding Refn Neon Demon, which he said was like a cult Hollywood movie, and there's hardly any shit in that, any occult Hollywood stuff in that movie except for like the end. I guess it's supposed to be a metaphor. I don't know. But yeah, if Under the Silver Lake, I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed the film. Yeah, alright guys, that's it for this comic book and /